Hello and welcome back to the Legal Gym Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Hart, and I'm so glad you're tuning in today. Now, I realize it's been a hot minute since I last released an episode. So if you're still subscribed or just rediscovered the show, I just want to thank you. I've been working on some exciting projects behind the scenes, and I'm looking forward to bringing you even more practical legal tips and real-world lessons to help you protect and grow your online business. In today's episode, I'm sharing a mistake that I made years ago that had a direct impact on my business when Google shut down my ads because I didn't have the proper legal documents on my website. And so I'm going to walk you through what happened, how I fixed it, and what you can do to make sure your website is legally protected from day one. And as always, you can find the show notes for today's episode, including links to the resources and templates I mention at onestoplegal.co/57. That's onestoplegal.co/57. All right. Let's get into it. Oh, before we do that though, almost forgot. Today's episode I actually recorded on YouTube, and so when I post the show notes for this episode, I'll actually include a link to the video that I posted on YouTube related to this episode. So this is just kind of a replay of a video I've already done. So if you want to watch me in person, feel free to go check out that video. If you're fine listening, that's cool too. Whatever works for you. All right, let's get to it. What if your entire marketing funnel shut down overnight because you were missing one legal document? Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But it's not. That's exactly what happened to me way back in the first years of running my own law firm. Business was good, website was up, ads were running, leads were coming in, phone was ringing, everything was good. Life was good. Then suddenly, overnight, silence, crickets. Before I tell you what happened, my name is Jim Hart. I'm the founding attorney here at the Hart Law Firm, also known as Hawthorne Law, where we help entrepreneurs get their legal house in order. Whether you're running an online business, building a brand, you're an influencer, coach, consultant, we can help you get in place the things you need to make sure your business is legally protected. You ready to get into what I did to fix this problem and get my legal house in order? Because I'm a lawyer, I need to do that, right? All right, let's do this. Roll tape. So, as I was saying, my phone stopped ringing. I didn't know why. I didn't know what was going on. Eventually, I logged into my Google ad account and I saw the dreaded message, account suspended. I was like, what is going on? I don't know what to do about this. This is not good. And basically, I figured out it was because of policy reasons and policy violations. And I'm like, well, I do everything above board. At least I try to do things above board. Why would Google be suspending my account? What could I have possibly done wrong that changed one day that was not a problem, for the multiple years I've been running ads up to that point? Well, the reason was that my website at the time did not have a privacy policy on it. Oops. Now, this was like 10, 15, 20 years ago. I honestly don't remember. It was a long time ago. It was in the dark ages of the interwebs. And hardly anyone at the time was talking about privacy policies. I was not doing online business at that point. I was not working with entrepreneurs back then. I was just running a business of my own. I had a little boutique family law firm. And so I wasn't really in tune with all the different legal requirements that somebody would need if they're running an online business. Now, I will mention this was back when, again, privacy policies were just kind of becoming a thing. They were being enacted into law. California was taking steps. They were kind of the leader in this regard for the country. A few years later, the European Union would step in and institute their own laws regarding privacy policies and data. I did what Google told me to do. I prepared a privacy policy, did the best I could. I slapped it up on my website, and within a couple days, my ads were back on, crisis averted, no problem. So what does this mean for you? Well, this was a wake-up call to me. The last thing you want, or the last thing I want, is to wake up one day to find that your business has been just completely shut down, or that you've received a large refund request, or that a customer has issued a negative review about you for some reason or other. These are all things that can throw a business for a loop. And if you're a business owner and something like this happens to you, it can be really scary because I presume you're doing everything you can to try and serve your clients as best you can. And when something like this happens, for someone like me who tries to be pretty honest and straightforward with my clients, I don't like dealing with that uncertainty. I don't like dealing with this fear that something could happen and my business could just be shut down overnight. That is something that I do not like. That's too much risk for me. And it's probably too much risk for you too. And the point here is that This whole experience made me understand that most online businesses are one contract away from being shut down, or if not being shut down, a major problem regardless. So again, whether it's getting your ad account suspended, losing a chargeback for a significant amount of money, or facing some other type of customer dispute, your website needs to be protected and your online business needs to be protected. Now, over the years since this originally happened, I've worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs to get their legal house in order. I've reviewed countless websites to see what's going on with them, to see where there's holes, legal holes in their business. And what I've learned is that there are 4 essential contracts that you really need to have in place on your website if you're selling products or services online, to keep you from getting into this type of problem. So let's walk through them real quick. First up, I think it goes without saying, I just mentioned it, is the privacy policy. This is not optional anymore. It's a legal requirement in all states, even though most of the privacy regulations come out of California and the European Union. A number of other states have followed suit and instituted their own privacy laws. I think it's just a matter of time before Congress is going to take some sort of action to institute privacy policies on a nationwide scale. That hasn't happened yet, but this is very important. If you collect email addresses from people, if you collect payment information from people, if you collect regular physical addresses from people, if you use Google Analytics on your website, if you collect any type of information about people who are on your website and you store that data somehow, then you need to have a privacy policy. And even if you're not doing any of those things, you're like, well, I don't collect that information. I just put information on my website. I'm not collecting anything from people. I'm not running Google Analytics, blah, 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 blah. If you're trying to run ads, chances are Google's still not going to approve your ads unless you have a privacy policy. Facebook is not going to approve your ads unless you have a privacy policy. And most website builders these days will put some sort of ridiculous, stupid privacy policy as a template page that you can use to build your own privacy policy. But let's be honest, we don't know about the legalities of that. So that's the first thing you need, is to make sure you have a good, solid privacy policy on your website. It is legally required. Second thing that you need to have on your website is a website terms of service. A lot of people don't understand what this is. These are basically the rules that people must follow when they're visiting your website and consuming your content. A website term of service will help to limit your liability, protect your intellectual property, and help manage things like user-generated content, i.e. comments on your website, or other prohibited behavior. So you don't want somebody going on your website and, spouting off hatred or, crazy political views or things like that. I want you to think of the website terms of service as the legal house rules for your website. It says what people can and can't do with the information you provide on your website. And without them, somebody could misuse or even steal your content, claim damages against you, or argue that you didn't give them fair warning for one thing or another. But with it, you've clearly set the ground rules, and you're going to help to protect yourself legally if you should run into any sort of issue with somebody who isn't even your client. They're just visiting your website, and they may have taken action based on the information you provided and somehow been damaged by that. So you don't want that to happen. You know what time it is. All right, I got my little White House mug today. Oh, that's hot. Oh, so good. All right, third contract you need to have. If you are providing any type of professional advice on your website, or if you're selling a product that is maybe inherently dangerous, it's especially important that you have legal disclaimers, proper legal disclaimers on your website. So whether you're offering any type of financial, legal, health, fitness, business, how to make money type of thing, information on your website, you must have a legal disclaimer. Now, a legal disclaimer is not going to stop somebody from suing you, but a legal disclaimer is going to provide you with a defense if somebody should attempt to sue you. The information that a disclaimer will provide is let the person that is consuming your content know that it is for informational purposes or entertainment purposes only. It is not to be used as a substitute for professional advice of, again, a financial advisor, lawyer, accountant, doctor, fitness coach, blah, 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 whatever. If they have specific questions about their situation and they need that type of advice or guidance, then you need to have a disclaimer that says they should seek out that advice or guidance from a true professional and not get it from your website for free. So this is going to be especially important if you're a coach, content creator, influencer, or any other type of online educator. This is vitally important. So legal disclaimer, that's number 3. Number 4 is going to be your terms of sale. And if you're selling a service like like coaching services, things like that, this also could be your client engagement contract. But if you're selling a product, it's going to be a terms of sale. And basically, if you're selling something, it could be digital products, courses, coaching programs, physical goods, anything like that. These are going to be the terms of that transaction. These are going to cover things like your pricing, your refund policy, your return policy, how soon they can expect to receive the product if it's a physical product, and what to happen if there's some sort of dispute with you about the product or the service that is rendered. Without terms of sale or a client contract, you're subjecting yourself to potentially chargeback requests, misunderstandings with your clients, and potentially customer complaints that could have been prevented if you'd lay it all out in terms of service. Now, the best way to do this is you're going to have a separate web page with those terms. And then when somebody checks out, they'll be able to check a box saying that they agree to and comply with those terms of sale. So that's the best way to do it. Yeah, so that's the 4th contract that you need to have. Now, once I put these 4 contracts in place on my website, and not just on my website, but I've helped hundreds of clients to get this information into place on their websites as well, things really started to change. There's going to be fewer questions you'll find from your clients or customers. There's going to be fewer issues with your clients or customers. There's going to be more trust. They're going to feel like they know what they're doing when they're working with you. And more importantly, for me anyway, as I mentioned at the beginning, you're going to start to feel like the business that you have is actually protected and you don't need to worry about these issues popping up that could, basically shut down your business the blink of an eye. So here's the takeaway. Legal stuff does not have to be complicated. And I'm here on this YouTube channel to try and show you that legal does not have to be complicated. But it does have to be done the right way. And so if you're missing any of these contracts, I'm going to include a link down below. Or maybe if you're just not sure that yours are up to date, maybe you put some contracts on your website a long time ago and you don't know where you got them. Maybe you copied them from somebody else. Big no-no, by the way. Or perhaps you found something, a legal template online, you're not sure if it's still valid. I've created a set of done-for-you legal templates that you can use and you can input directly into your website right now. They're the same ones that I use and recommend to my clients. Get your legal foundation in place. This is incredibly important. Don't wait for a crisis. Don't wait for your business to be shut down. Do it today. And if this helps you, give it a like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if there's other questions or information that you would like to see from us. I make videos like this every week or so to help you grow and protect your online business the smart way. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. That's it for today's episode of the Legal Gym podcast. I hope you found it helpful and that you're walking away with a clearer understanding of how you can legally protect your website and your business, because honestly, they go hand in hand. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be incredibly grateful if you could just take a moment to leave a rating or review wherever you're listening to your podcast episodes. It really helps other entrepreneurs like you to find the show and get the help they need. And if you're ready to take the next step, be sure to check out the Done For You website legal templates that I mentioned in today's episode. You'll find a link in the show notes at onestoplegal.co/57. Again, that's onestoplegal.co/57. Thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to talking with you in the next episode.